Hey guys, this is Crow and welcome to Promo Look At. These are basically videos that I do for tabletop gaming. And without further ado, today's promo we're going to be looking at is for Dead of Winter, a Crossroads game. It can also work with Warring Colonies, and lastly, it can also work with The Long Night. And the promo we're going to be looking at is actually an interesting one for those of you guys who know Mr. Rodney Smith. That's basically the promo we're going to be looking at. And here's a close-up of it. And I'm going to basically read this note right here. It says, note, cards in this promo are marked with a red watch it play meeple icon in the lower right corner to help distinguish them from cards included in the base set and other expansions. So if I were to, here's the second time me taking this guy out. I haven't used them, so I really don't know. But the Sandy looks the same. Either way, I will turn it. So since I read you guys that little icon, I'm going to basically show you guys the little meeple characters right down here. It's really small. That's why I showed it to you guys in the standee card. And let me show you guys how the Crossroads card and the character card looks like. So here's a close-up of it. And it's still basically the standard background for the base game. And for the Long Night. They all have the same background, but basically here's a close-up of them. So I'm going to read the Crossroad card this time, unlike in my last video where I read the character before the Crossroad, because the Crossroad actually activates first if he's not in play. So Rodney Smith. If the player announces the intention to attack a zombie and Rodney Smith is in the survivor deck, read before they spend the die. So before they use that action die to basically attack the zombie, basically you go, oh, Crossroad activates, and then the Crossroad activates, and then you read this, halt! A figure calls out dressed in a strikingly red uniform and been in pursuit of that criminal, and I sworn to bring him in. You realize he's referring to the creature stumbling towards you. Before you can react, he's jumped from his horse and wrestled the creature to the ground, snapping handcuffs onto it. This is the end of the road for you, Gerard. Dead, ... or undead. And Monty gets his man. Remove a zombie from this location. He gags his prisoner and hitches it to his horse. Thank you kindly for your assistance, friend. As it turns out, that was my last outstanding case. I'm happy to partner with someone trustworthy, but these times have caused some to turn against their fellow survivors. I hope that's not true for you. So, Rodney Smith is basically a cop, even though in real life he's not a cop, but he's a cop in this, basically. He's a Mountie from Canada, but he's basically apprehending a character. So now it's basically saying that Dead of Winter happens around Canada, or it's more up north than it is down south. So option one, I assure you, I'm doing everything I can to help my colony. As a show of good faith, distribute 3 cards from your hand to the other players. Divide as you like. If you have less than 3 cards, give all you have. Search the survivor deck for Rodney Smith and add him to your following. So there's a ruling right here because a lot of people actually are confused. What if you had no cards? Do you still get them to add it? The answer is going to be no. I play like this. You have to basically show good faith to Rodney Smith. Rodney Smith is a cop, and he's basically apprehended his last criminal that he's been looking for, and the world is gone bad. So he knows that there are people that are bad, and that he's looking for them, and he doesn't really want to join a colony where people are really not helping each other. So if you have no cards, I'm gonna say this ability doesn't work. If you guys play house rules and say no, we can allow it to work, that's up to you guys. But me personally, the card basically says it on the card. Distribute the item. So if you only had 1 card, if you give that card away, you're showing good faith to Rodney Smith to join your party. And that's actually how this card will work, in my opinion. If you had 2 cards, you distribute them. 3 cards, you distribute them. If you were in a 2-player game, you just give the cards to that other player. It makes it look like you're the good guy. If you don't do it, I would think you're a saboteur. Or unless you just like, there's something good in my hand, I don't want to give it away. So it goes to the next player, basically. Because that's basically what option 2 is. Arresting the undead, you're out of your mind. You run, but the Mountie tracks you back to your colony and joins the first player from you in clockwise order that will fulfill option 1. Search the survivor deck for Rodney Smith and add him to the other following. If all players decline, nothing happens. So let's just say there's 3 of us. I decline to do this. I don't have the cards. Let's just say, so now it goes to Johnny. Johnny basically goes, well, I don't want to give anybody my cards. Now I'm thinking he's a saboteur. Bobby goes, and if he decides to distribute a card to us, okay, fine. He gets Rodney Smith, but there might be a saboteur, if there is a saboteur within us, the trader. And if not, then all of a sudden, Bobby can also say, well, I'm not feeling like giving my cards away. So now I'm thinking you guys either have some good stuff, or this is part of your secret objectives, because there is the secret objective. So it all depends on how the game is being played. With that being said, will Rodney Smith join anybody? No, it will not happen if nobody distributes cards. So if nobody distributes a card to basically have Rodney Smith join them, nobody gets Rodney Smith. That's how I see it. He has to see the good faith of you giving somebody a card, even if it's just one. So, next off, I'm going to read Mr. Rodney Smith. It says here, Rodney Smith, Mountie, influence 63, which is very high. If you guys draw him from the deck right off the bat, at the start of the game, he's basically going to be your leader. His attack is 6+, and his search is 1+. Which, his attack, man, you can't really use him to attack. So I'm assuming in real life, I don't think Rodney Smith will attack anybody, seeing how he looks like a peaceful guy and he's very friendly. So I can understand that. His search is 1+, so that makes him actually a very useful character to search. As for his background, there's some trees in the back. He's in his Canadian little outfit. There's for a Mountie, there's a horse and a Canadian flag. Now, for a little trivia with this, for those who don't know, Rodney Smith was actually wearing this at Gen Con 2018 and he was cosplaying for the very first time in his life. So that actually made him look outstanding, like great, because everybody was like hoping he would do this, and they were wondering, did you ever do this for this card? And he was like, no, I never did, but I'm gonna do it for you guys. So he bought this outfit, and he did it. He did it for his fans, and that's awesome. I wish I was there to see him, but sadly I was not. Hopefully, Mr. Rodney Smith in the future will do this in another convention, or maybe for 5 hours or 4 hours, I'm gonna say, and he does like a little photo shoot with people. That would be awesome if we can actually, if he will do this again, because he said he was only doing this once. Hopefully he changes his mind. Hopefully he sees this video and changes his mind. Hopefully one day I get to meet him and I see him in this outfit too, because I will give that a thumbs up. So let's go with his character ability. Anywhere, once per round, you may move Rodney one additional time. When moving Rodney, do not roll for exposure. While in play, you must pay one additional food during the pay food step of the colony phase. So that sounds great, because I'm pausing it right there. That basically makes some balance, because if you think about it, Rodney Smith doesn't have a horse, if you think about it, but it's only one character you're getting. So the horse really doesn't count as a character, but you have to pay one additional food. So basically for Rodney Smith, you're paying one food. Doesn't matter where it is. So basically it's to feed his horse. So that makes it balanced, if you think about it. And also it makes it also balanced, because who wants to roll this die twice for him to roll for exposure and then have a chance of getting that teeth mark or the blood the frostbite or the blood marking. So that makes Rodney Smith interesting, really interesting, that he can move 2 places. So that actually equals, because he has a search of 1, and let's just say you need food and medicine, and then you go to the supermarket, you get that food, and you do a search, you get the food, you're like, yes. Then you go, and then you move him right off the bat, and then you go to the medicine place, to the hospital to see if you can get medicine, and you can have that chance of helping the team all in general. So Rodney Smith is really good for his moving without the exposure die, because nobody likes rolling that exposure die. So that makes it bing! Now his next ability is 1+, so you need a 1+ die to do this. Apprehend a zombie at Rodney's location, removing it from the game, roll for exposure twice. Now this is where I don't like his ability, because that ability kind of sucks, because nobody wants to roll this die. This die is terrible. So if I roll it and I get a bite mark, that's it, I died. Whether I rolled it the first one or the second one, and then there's a teeth mark, that's it. I basically got killed trying to apprehend the zombie, which sucks. Number 2, if you roll a blood mark and a frostbite, that also sucks, because then all of a sudden I'm basically killing this character off right off the bat, and I don't want to do that. So it really does suck. And then there are blanks in the dice, and that's what you want, but taking that risk, I don't want to do that. I don't think anybody's ever going to want to do that. So that's where I'm just like, okay, that part of the ability sucks, but he's pretty good. Now, to begin off, if you guys like to sleeve your cards, it does fit in Magic the Gathering - Pokemon sleeves. So basic sleeve 4 cards. It does fit in it, so if you guys want to sleeve it, you can sleeve it. That's awesome. Another thing is, if you guys use the app with the Crossroads card app, and you guys want to see this Crossroads card basically appear in there, it will never appear. And the Crossroads app does not have any of the promotional items. I don't even know if it has Long Night or Warren Colonies, but I know Eric Summer won't read this even if you were to able to add it. So that kind of sucks. So basically you're stuck without using these cards if you played with the app. I recommend you guys just use the Crossroads cards and shuffle the cards and then see it as they go. But yeah, it doesn't really play out. Next thing, how did this card basically come out? Basically, it came out in 2016 as a fundraiser for Rodney Smith's 1-year fundraiser to see, hey, does Watch It Play continue on, and will people support him? And that's basically how this card came out. It came out one more time out for the fundraiser in 2017. This is how I got my card because I supported him, and I got these 2 cards with it. Now, he also did sell them at conventions, and he was carrying them with him, and he will sell it to people if they asked him. So that was pretty nice of him. But then all of a sudden, it was just like, well, how can we get it throughout the rest of the year? I mean, what if we don't go to these conventions and where Rodney Smith actually goes? Then that's where we were in a pickle. So Rodney Smith, luckily for him, he partnered up with Pod Pledge, and Pod Pledge right now, which I'm going to leave a link in below if you guys want to purchase this item, basically how to get this card, this set, and it costs like 30 bucks. So it's not expensive to get. If you guys want to get it, awesome. You could be supporting his channel. You can get it from eBay, or you can get it from sellers on the Board Game Geek Market, but I would recommend just getting it from Pod Pledge, because normally people sell it for 35, 40, maybe a little even more. So if you guys can get it in Pod Pledge, it's still available on Pod Pledge for 30. And if you guys want to get this with the complete collection with 2 more Crossroad cards that also were promotional items from Watch It Play, like Lucky Lukey Smith, you guys can get them all together for $45 at podpledge.com as well. So like I said, I'll leave a link below where you can get these promos, but it's up to really you. Now, the last thing to say is, do I highly recommend him? Rodney Smith is actually, I haven't used him in the game, so I wouldn't say I'm going to 100% recommend him. I recommend him to a certain aspect. If you guys want to get the other promotional cards first, before you go into Rodney Smith, because Rodney Smith is the most second priciest, I'm going to say, compared to the others that is available. No, he's the priciest that is available right now, I'm going to say, because everybody else is like around 6 if you get him at Flathead Games, but Rodney Smith is 30. So he's a little bit more pricier to get, but he's not a bad character. It's actually an interesting character. You don't roll for exposure. That makes him amazing for that. His search is 1. So he is pretty good, I will say that. He's much cheaper than Felicia Day. So that is actually a plus right there, because Felicia Day is actually expensive. So do I highly recommend them? Not 100%. I'm going to say more like 80%. It depends. Do you guys really like Watch It Play? Do you guys want to support Watch It Play? Because then I will say yes, go right ahead. But if not, then you're just looking to have base game cards and not really care for upgrading into more characters, then I will say no, don't really get them. But it's really up to you guys to tell me. Let me know in the comments below. Do you 100% recommend getting Rodney Smith or not? Let me know in the comments below. But like how Mr. Rodney Smith always ends his videos, thanks for watching.